Okay. American policing and incarceration rates. So, racial inequality. So, a quote from our textbook that I found interesting. Racial disparities in incarceration are one of the most significant crises facing African Americans in the 20th century, from slavery to freedom, page 697. Trying to move my. Okay. The new Jim Crow, published in 2010 by Michelle Alexander, explains that although all the Jim Crow laws are a thing of the past, as we are seeing more Black achievement in what were once white positions. However, this does not mean the end of racial struggles or injustice. The prison population grew from 200,000 in the year 1970 to about 2.2 million in 2017. And they have the graph right here showing some statistics I found. So, African Americans equal 37.5% of the total prison population in 2020. The NAACP statistics say African American people are incarcerated at over 5 times the rate that white people are. And African American women are arrested 2 times the rate that white women are. While African American children equal 32% of all children arrested, 42% of children detained, and 52% of children who went to trial. And again, down at the bottom, you can see the rates there. So arrests. Drug offenders who are nonviolent often get labeled as felons for life, which prevents them from getting any benefits such as housing assistance or link benefits. And this also makes it impossible for these people to find jobs being labeled as felons. In 2010, President Barack Obama passed the Fair Sentencing Act, which would reduce sentencing disparities between crack and powder cocaine. So even though the number of incarcerations has declined, 2.3 million African American men are still subjected to closer police surveillance and profiling as well as arrests. So these are some percentages and rates. At the top, there's my graph there. You can sort of see the prison rates there for African American men. So the USA incarceration rates are higher than anywhere else in the world, being at 698 per 100,000. African American men with lower levels of schooling are more likely to be incarcerated. In 1979, African American men who dropped out of high school had a 15% chance of being incarcerated, and in 2009, this percentage chance increased to 68%. 1.2 million African American children also have either a parent or both parents who are incarcerated, which can cause the children many different problems or even cause them a chance at being incarcerated as well. So then racial caste, which racial caste is something that we have been blinded by. So most of us do not think of or realize what African Americans go through in regards to racial profiling, especially in policing. So African Americans are profiled as being dangerous or criminals, even if they have not committed a crime. Um, so then the prisons are being built at a rapid rate, so much that they are becoming overcrowded. And most prisoners are arrested for um, economic crimes. If you can see the image down there, it kind of shows the overcrowding in prisons. So prisons are so overcrowded that prisoners are living in inhumane ways. Um, so people usually return back to prison after getting out, as they have to return back to crime due to being discriminated against for being labeled as a felon. Police use discretions about who they believe should be stopped, questioned, or even arrested. So, yeah, racial inequality in policing is a huge problem. Stereotyping. Stereotypes affect decision making towards who faces what type of consequences in regards to making a crime or even being stopped or pulled over. Prisons should be about reform and rehabilitation, but sadly, most prisons now do not even provide the education and job training programs that they once had. And this is why recidivism rates are so high now. So, what is being done? So, David Singleton of Ohio Justice and Policing Center seeks out help for those who have completed their sentencing to reunite with their families and re enter society in a productive way. And then there is also the Innocence Project, which has made possible the release of people who were wrongly convicted of crimes that they did not commit. And then I just wanted to add my graph here so it could be seen a little better, the rates. And for social and political, so Equal Justice Initiative has worked very hard to put an end to mass incarceration. And today we have many protests we see in the media fighting for the rights of African Americans, such as the Black Lives Matter movement. And then here, these are my sources that I use. So I use the mass incarceration visualized YouTube video from week 14. And then I have the IVCC canopy video broken on all sides, and then our textbook From Slavery to Freedom.